Pastor John Gray is a famous pastor, speaker, and TV personality whose inspiring teachings and charismatic presence have touched a wide audience. Gray has had a big impact on the modern ministry scene with his powerful, honest messages and lively personality. His journey has been marked by a sincere desire to uplift and inspire people from all walks of life, which has led to a busy career that includes roles as a preacher, TV host, and Pastor John Gray was born on June 26, 1973, in Cincinnati, Ohio. He grew up in a Christian home where faith was the center of family life. Gray's early years were filled with church services, gospel music, and Christian teachings that shaped his character and purpose. From a very young age, he showed a unique. John Gray was exposed to the power of music at a young age while growing up in a musical family. Gospel music in particular struck a chord with him, sparking a love for rhythm, melody, and vocal expression that would later become an important part of his ministry style. His musical interest wasn't just a hobby, it was a calling. As Gray grew older, he was surrounded by spiritual messages and his musical skills improved. He started to see music as a way to reach others, and singing in the church choir and attending worship services were early ways for him to improve his skills and serve others, laying the groundwork for his future in ministry, along with his musical career. Musical talent, Gray naturally liked telling stories and speaking in public. As a child, he felt a stirring inside him, a call that he didn't fully understand at the time that led him to the pulpit. Growing up in a Christian home meant that he was constantly exposed to Bible teachings, church sermons, and faith-based discussions that shaped his understanding of God's love and grace. These teachings made Gray want to learn more about the Bible and find his own calling to serve. By the time he was a teenager, he saw ministry as a powerful way to help others find hope and purpose, just like his faith had done for him. John Gray started his public ministry as a youth pastor and worship leader, laying the groundwork for a career in ministry that would eventually reach people all over the world. His journey began with a focus on youth, a group he felt especially called to because of the unique problems they face in today's world. Gray's early work as a youth pastor helped him develop his pastoral skills, learn how to communicate effectively, and figure out how to connect with younger generations. These formative years would shape his approach to ministry, giving him the tools to inspire others. As John Gray's career went on, his love of music became an important part of his ministry. When he was first starting out as a worship leader, he used music to connect with young people on a deeper level. He knew that music has the power to break down barriers and speak to the heart, especially for teens and young adults who are going through tough times. The combination of Gray's musical skills and friendly, approachable personality made it possible for him to lead worship experiences that were both engaging and spiritually moving. As a youth pastor, he also had the chance to improve his leadership and communication skills. Working with young people requires a unique approach because they often want honesty, guidance, and acceptance in ways that traditional church settings may not always provide. Being open and honest with his youth group helped him build an atmosphere of trust and respect. Being willing to talk about important issues like self-worth, relationships, and the stresses of modern life made him approachable and let him deal with the real problems young people were having. Gray's early leadership experiences taught him how to connect with people. Meeting people where they were instead of expecting them to fit into a mold, he learned to change his style by using humor, stories, and personal anecdotes to make biblical principles easy to understand and relate to. These skills became the foundations of his ministry as he took on bigger pastoral roles, allowing him to connect with people from all walks of life. Talking with clarity and compassion set him apart in the ministry world and put him on the path that would eventually lead to national and international fame. As Gray's ministry grew, so did his platform. Because of his unique gifts, he was soon asked to serve in bigger churches, where he began to reach more people. His time as a youth pastor had given him a solid foundation, but now that he was expanding his ministry to include people of all ages, he kept using his signature style. John Gray's ministry career took a big turn when he joined Pastor Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas. As one of the largest churches in the U.S., Lakewood gave Gray a unique chance to share his message with millions of people, and his time there helped build his reputation as an engaging and relevant speaker. As an associate pastor at Lakewood, Gray gained a lot of followers because of his funny, heartfelt messages that combined biblical teaching with real-life applications. His time at Lakewood helped him build his career and find his voice in the Christian community. Lakewood Church is famous for its influence, reaching people all over the world through live services on TV and online platforms, led by Joel Osteen. The church has an upbeat and welcoming approach to faith, which made it a good fit for Gray's style of ministry. Gray's mix of funny stories and biblical insights struck a chord with Lakewood's diverse congregation, allowing him to connect with people from a wide range of backgrounds and life experiences. Lakewood Gray worked with a very experienced team and a visionary leader, which helped him improve his ministry skills and gain more influence. As an associate pastor, Gray was in charge of preaching, providing pastoral care, and running a number of different programs. His powerful, relatable preaching style quickly made him stand out, as he was known for talking about real-life issues in a way that was relevant to the audience. In an honest and caring way, Gray often talked about things that really hit home with the audience, like relationships, self-worth, and getting through hard times. Being open about his own problems helped him connect with many people on a personal level, which made him a trusted voice at Lakewood and helped him build a loyal following. Gray's sermons at Lakewood were characterized by: he had a unique style that mixed humor, vulnerability, and biblical insight. He often used stories to illustrate biblical principles, drawing from his own life experiences and struggles to make powerful, memorable messages. This helped people see how biblical teachings applied to their everyday lives, making the message of the gospel more accessible and interesting. His sermons were often filled with warmth and compassion, which made people think about their own lives. There was no denying Gray's growing popularity at Lakewood, and his ability to connect with people led to more opportunities in the media. Recognizing the power of TV and the internet, Gray expanded his ministry to reach people outside of church walls. His frequent appearances in televised services and online sermons helped him connect with people. People from all over the world were drawn to John Gray's honest, heartfelt messages. His time at Lakewood was a big part of expanding his influence in the Christian community and beyond. His ministry reached new heights, attracting people who were looking for both spiritual guidance and someone who could relate to the problems they were having. Gray became known for: a lot of people connected with Pastor John Gray's messages about things like resilience, self-worth, and finding purpose. He was open to people from all walks of life, and his messages often pushed for unity and understanding, which hit home with people inside and outside of the Christian faith. Pastor John Gray's fame goes far beyond the walls of Relentless Church. As his popularity grew, he reached a wider audience, showing how powerful his message was and how well he could connect with people. One of the most important moments in his career was when his TV show, The Book of John Gray, premiered on the Oprah Winfrey Network. The show gave viewers an inside look into Gray's life ministry and his dedication to helping people deal with their own problems, giving them a glimpse into the personal. People quickly became fans of the Book of John Gray when it premiered in 2017 and quickly became known for its unique mix of ministry, personal stories, and inspiring moments. The show wasn't just about his job as a pastor, it also went into great detail about the personal parts of his life, with help from the production team at Owen. The Book of John Gray gave viewers an unfiltered look at the highs and lows of the pastor's life. Unlike other religious shows that only focus on preaching, it painted a full picture of the pastor's humanity, weakness, and deep faith in a new and powerful way. One of the most interesting things about the book was how it showed his ministry and the everyday problems he faced. It also gave viewers a look behind the scenes at Gray's leadership of Relentless Church. As with his interactions with members of his congregation, the show was based on his desire to change lives and help people heal spiritually and emotionally. In each episode, viewers saw Gray's pastoral care firsthand as he helped people through tough personal and family problems. The show showed his followers that his ministry wasn't just preaching on Sundays, but also included. The Book of John Gray was about more than just his personal life. It was also about his heart for ministry and his belief in the power of transformation. In open and honest conversations, he talked about his own problems and how he overcame them with his faith. This honesty became one of the show's defining traits, drawing viewers in by showing that even a famous pastor has problems and grows just like everyone else. At its heart, the Book of John Gray was about helping people deal with their own problems, whether they were about faith, relationships, health, or other parts of life. Throughout the series, Gray stressed how important it was to heal and grow, and he used his fame to give people hope and useful advice. Giving viewers advice on how to deal with their own problems by talking about universal themes like forgiveness, family conflict, and emotional healing, the show reached a large audience that goes far beyond what church-based shows usually do. One of the main ideas of the show was Gray's belief in the redemptive power of faith and community. In the Book of John, Gray told viewers to face their own problems head-on and use faith as a tool for change, whether it was through emotional support from family or deeper relationships with other people. Gray showed that no one has to go through life's problems by themselves. It was clear in every episode that his goal was to help people who were hurting, whether it was from personal losses, health problems, or emotional crises. He talked to viewers as a friend, a mentor, and a source of spiritual guidance, giving them hope even in the worst situations. The Book of John Gray's success wasn't just measured by how many viewers it got, or the attention it brought to Gray's ministry, but also in the lives of viewers who were changed by his message. The show allowed for important conversations about faith, mental health, and emotional well-being. It gave viewers a place to talk about their own problems and find support to keep growing and healing. For Gray, the show was an and, reaching more people and expanding his ministry beyond the walls of Relentless Church. It gave him a chance to share his message of transformation with people who might not have heard it otherwise. The show gave him a chance to connect with people who might not normally go to church, but were drawn to his hopeful, practical, and caring message. John Gray started a new chapter in his ministry in 2018 when he became the senior pastor at Relentless Church in Greenville, South Carolina. This was a big step in his career because he was now in charge of leading his own congregation, which was a challenge that came with both opportunities and problems. As Gray started this journey, he carried the A. During his years of ministry at Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, where Pastor Joel was his mentor, Gray taught teachings and lessons that helped the church grow quickly. His charismatic preaching style and heartfelt messages struck a chord with the congregation, and he quickly became known for preaching messages about hope, faith, and forgiveness. He used transformational themes that came from his own experience of facing challenges and finding purpose through faith. Gray's approachable style, which often included funny stories and real-life applications of biblical principles, won over the congregation and brought in new members who found his sermons relevant and powerful. One of Gray's main goals at Relentless Church was to build a strong community. During his time as pastor, the church got involved in a lot of local outreach programs that helped people in the Greenville community. Gray encouraged his congregation to do acts of service because he believed that true faith is shown through kindness and action. Relentless Church organized food drives, educational programs, and making a real difference in the community. Gray's sermons at Relentless Church were all about transformation, a concept he understood well because he had been through his own struggles. He often talked about how his faith had changed his life and encouraged others to find their own transformation through a relationship with God. His sermons pushed people to face their limitations and rise above their circumstances, focusing on spiritual growth as a way to overall fulfillment. To support this focus on transformation, Gray started many programs at Relentless Church to help people grow personally and spiritually. He encouraged members of the congregation to take part in small group workshops and mentorship programs that built accountability and deeper connections. Gray's commitment to helping people become the best versions of themselves helped the church grow quickly as people looked to him for advice on how to find purpose and meaning in their lives. The Relentless Church grew and had an impact on the community, but Gray also had to deal with problems and controversies. Because he was so well known, people looked closely at his leadership style and personal choices. As the church grew, Gray faced criticism and backlash over money issues and personal choices, which drew attention to his ministry for reasons other than his teachings. Being honest about his struggles helped him connect with his congregation. On a deeper level, they saw him as someone who, like them, had problems and flaws. The way he dealt with problems became an important part of his ministry, serving as a reminder that faith could be a source of strength even in hard times. By dealing with problems in an open and humble way, Gray emphasized his message that change and growth are lifelong journeys. Pastor John Gray has. During his life and ministry, Gray faced many important personal and public challenges. One of the hardest was his ongoing health battle. In 2022, Gray had a life-threatening medical emergency that put his faith to the test and brought his family, church, and community together in a way that few other events had. He was diagnosed with a rare condition called saddle pulmonary embolism, which is a serious and life-threatening blood clot in the lungs. A potentially fatal blockage in the lungs could have killed him if he hadn't gotten medical help right away. His family, church members, and followers were very worried about him and prayed for his recovery. Gray's hospitalization because of this condition was a turning point for him, his family, and his congregation at Relentless. As he was taken to intensive care, the reality of the situation hit everyone who knew him and had been affected by his ministry. He might not recover. This hit home deeply with his family and church members as they waited for updates on his health. Word of Gray's condition quickly spread among his followers, both in and outside of his church. Concern, support, and prayers came in from all over the country. His wife, Eventer Gray, took to social media to share updates on his condition and asked the faith community to pray for his healing and comfort. This call for collective prayer sparked a wave of unity among believers and supporters, showing how many lives he had touched. Thanks to his preaching, encouraging words, and honest personal stories, Gray made a remarkable recovery from the saddle pulmonary embolism. He credited his faith-based medical team and the support of his loved ones and congregation. After being released from the hospital, Gray thanked everyone for their prayers and support during this very difficult time for him. The ordeal was both a medical and a spiritual one that helped him reconnect with his faith and realize how much he needed God and the people around him. It also changed Gray's approach to ministry. When he started back as pastor, he shared lessons from his health journey to remind his congregation of how important it is to take care of themselves, have faith, and trust in God's plan, even when things don't go as planned. During the hardest times in his life, he told others to pay attention to their bodies and put their physical and mental health first. This message hit home, especially for those who had seen him go through it himself. Pastor Gray's story is one of strength, humility, and faith. He is open about both his successes and failures, which has helped him connect deeply with his congregation. The congregation and followers look up to Gray as a powerful example of how to deal with life's problems with grace and persistence, even though he has had personal and public problems. Gray continues to lead with a message of redemption, healing, and transformation through his experiences. Gray's life and ministry show people who are going through hard times that it is possible to get through it and find purpose even in the worst times. They also show how important it is to be humble, have faith, and keep going. They are a powerful reminder that God is always at work in the midst of our struggles, leading us to healing and redemption.